Greetings, YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about a Klein Tools Duct knife. And here we go. This is the sheath that comes with. It's got a pretty standard, it'll fit a 2-inch belt, dump style. It does have a liner, which is quite nice. It's got a, in fact, this is pretty thick, and there's a tip here, an insert down here in the tip to make sure that it doesn't actually come through. So I would feel somewhat comfortable carrying this if I were in a working environment, though I might be concerned if I took a tumble. That might be a minor issue. It uses Velcro, which is, again, not my favorite. I prefer a snap closure, but that's just me. I found this at a pawn shop for 12 bucks, and I wasn't even aware that Klein Tools made knives of any kind. It says 27Z China on one side, and then the Klein Tool logo on the other, and the DK06, I believe is what that says. It is a duct knife, so that makes sense to call it a DK06. Maybe there have been 6 generations of this, I'm not sure. I wasn't even aware that this kind of design was a thing until I discovered that there was a Milwaukee duct knife, and I really need to get one now so I can compare the two. I don't know if this is a full tang design. This is a butt cap here, which could mean it's full tang, or I'm not sure. I'm not 100% positive on that. I didn't have any information with this. It didn't come in a box or a package, and I got it. It just came like it was. The grind on this is rather uneven in the sense of fit. For example, down here, the grind lines are fairly small, but as you get to the tip, the grind lines become more obvious. And the grind lines on this side are more obvious here, and they become less obvious in this spot, then more obvious again. So it's very uneven. And on this side, they're pretty consistent. They don't becoming more obvious to right near the tip. And on this side, it's almost even all the way up. The tip is a little more obvious. As far as the grind themselves, it actually doesn't look that bad. It's not perfect, but the lines themselves are pretty decent. It came out of the sheath with a so-so edge. I wouldn't want to have my life depend on that puppy, but I should be able to hone that up a little better if you wanted to. And this is a very fine serrated edge on this. It feels okay, but it's very, very small. I'm intrigued to see if there's a reason for that, because I've never done any duct work, so I can't tell you how useful this is. I just happen to really like the fact that it's a really decent dagger shape, and it's really cool looking. I do like the fact that the butt cap here, because this means the utility of the knife can be increased if you're working on the job and you need to make a tap something. But because this is a sharp edge here, I think they would have been better off by rounding that, because if you use this repeatedly, you are going to mushroom this cap. So if you have a round, a larger radius here, you are much less likely to do that. But then again, maybe you're only going to be tapping with this thing once in a blue moon. Again, I don't have any idea what you need to do with the duct knife like this. I've never used one. But because the Milwaukee one has almost exactly the same profile, it seems to be a thing. There's a reason that this shape is this way. If someone could tell me how to use a duct knife, or if they have any experience with a duct knife, I would really appreciate it. But I just happen to really like this overall shape. It just reminds me of a classic dagger, and it was affordable for 12 bucks. I happen to have a fondness for Klein tools. I own a couple of them. I've always thought of them as electronic tools, and now I discovered that they make knives. So I'm going to see if I can actually dig out one of their folding knives at one point, so I can compare it to the fixed and see if I like its general quality to other work style knives, as opposed to knives that are a little higher grade, that are more people are investing a little bit more money into because of both appearance and utility. Work style knives are really usually about pure pragmatism and utility. I happen to like that concept, so that's one of the reasons I picked this up. So this has been the Klein duct knife. So if anybody out there does any duct work, tell me, is this a good tool?